We're back painting Marblehead, doing the second part of our scene. Second part, or just continuing from where we left off. You can see that the background has had a chance to dry. The ocean has dried. Anyway, starting with the facings of these near buildings, and I'm working with a strong mid-tone, wet on wet, adding ultramarine blue and a little bit of leftovers, some burnt sienna. Basically, I'm trying to build this up in a wet and wet manner, getting the tonality, the darkness correct, and isolating the rooftops in the midground. I'm trying to be lively with the brushwork, adding water, letting it drift down. Just, in other words, I'm having some fun here, just dropping color in and starting to realize the architectural shapes. Certainly I'm not concentrating on wainscoting and window treatments and the texture of the shingles or this or that. No, I'm going for an overall darkness, and in that darkness I'm going to be placing a few details. But primarily I'm using burnt sienna, ultramarine blue. I'll be adding a bit of neutral tint as I move along. This little pattern that I'm creating here is basically distant boats moored out in the ocean, helping to, it gives a little bit of a break on the ocean. I left a very bright spot there, which helps to show off these boats and give a feeling of low light. And this is another example of using repeated shapes. Now the foreground is dried and I can go back in and add some texture and add the impressive vertical chimney and the pipes that form verticals again on the smaller rooftops. This was preceded with a little bit of dry brush, which you notice on the tops of the roofs. Yellow ochre to the back, a little more gray in the forward ones. And now we're starting to feel, I'm starting to feel the sunlight in this painting. It's really manifest in the dark sides which are facing us, both of the distant city, the nearby buildings, and in particular these chimneys are helping to create that effect. Now you see me adding some details into this shadowed area. It looks okay, but I feel it's a little too busy, so at some point I'm going to add a wash on top of that. I want to carry some darks to the back and adding little bits here and there to make it more dramatic or to make the shadows feel more transparent. Chimneys, restating those in the background, they help to really, I feel, communicate this idea of repeated shapes all the way to the far distance. And this needs a little bit of a frame, and it was present on scene. We had an overhead tree that was coming in from the left-hand side, and this acts nicely to frame the left-hand corner of the painting. We don't need a lot, just a few dark leaves coming across, maybe a branch or two. This is the finished piece, and it's dried nicely. I like the variety of color in the foreground area. I like the strength of tones in the chimney and the brushwork in the rooftops. The distant city's been kept minimal. You can see as we drift back, there's not too much there. We might benefit from adding some windows, but the chimneys and the rooftops say it all in this painting.